Hello beautiful soul, and welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna. If this is your first time joining me, thank you so much for being here. For those of you who are coming back, thank you so much for being here. Without you, I wouldn't do this, and I absolutely what I do. So what is it that the avatar Joanna does? What is it that Joanna does? What do? I simply share with you information that I receive from a much higher perspective. And hopefully this information, when shared with you, will give you the ability to see yourself and your life from a different perspective. Because let's face it, perspective is everything. How you see something is how you will experience it. So my job as Joanna, one of my greatest jobs on this earth, is to share my knowledge with you. But it's not my knowledge. It doesn't belong to Joanna. It belongs to everyone. I just seem to have this ability to tap into this awareness so that I can share it with you. Pile number one, you have very interesting cards. Destiny and Choose Wisely, or Seven of Cups in reverse. So I am purely an intuitive reader. I don't even like the word reader, to be honest with you. In fact, I don't like it. But this is how most people speak. So the card of Destiny to me symbolizes that you are, in particular, pile number one, in your own journey of coming out of the fog. Okay, so when things are foggy, we can't see clearly. You're coming out of the fog. You're not completely out of the fog yet. It still has almost like its hold on you. So you are not feeling completely free right now. That's a metaphor, okay? Nonetheless, you are in a process of redesigning your destiny, reconfiguring your path forward, restructuring your foundation. You are in a process of starting fresh and new, okay? And because this is the case for you, you're going to feel the energy slightly more amplified. You might actually feel like you're running in circles. You might actually feel like you don't know what the heck you want. It's all part of this, I want to say the word convergence. Very interesting name. I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. What I'm also picking up from this image is that it's really important for you to, number one, elevate your speak. So elevate your speech. What does that mean? Actually, I'm not going to ask what it means. I'm going to let it be deciphered by you. Elevate your speech. Okay? Actually, I am going to do it because it's bugging me. Look how you speak about yourself to you and to other people. I'd like you to magnify the way you speak about yourself to you and other people. Do you build yourself up to appear in a certain way? Do you put yourself down to appear a certain way? Do you elevate yourself? Do you keep yourself? How do you formulate your language about who you are? Okay, because that language will come from a belief system. Okay, so it's very important for you to look at your own words in terms of how you speak to yourself and how you speak about yourself to others, and realize that the way you speak about you is a certain truth. So if you are putting yourself down as an example, then that must be coming from a certain truth. What truth are you holding about yourself whereby you feel the need to put yourself down, okay, or elevate yourself for that matter? Those will be good key points for you to look into and see the association you have of the words you're using and what belief they're tied to. This is going to help you to really know about yourself. You might actually, through doing this exercise, you might actually find that there are some critters within you didn't know you had. Some aspects about yourself you didn't realize you had. And here's what I'm being asked to say. You are likely a very capable and maybe even a creative person, but for some reason, that creativity, it's like it's being squashed down. So if this creativity is within you, but it's being squashed down, it's either somebody, you're letting somebody squash this creativity down, or you squash your own creativity down. The question then becomes why? What do you get out of squashing your own creativity? I just heard someone say to me, I don't like how I look. Okay, change the way you look. I'm not saying go and literally become a different person, because that is generally not going to help anyway. It's all about looking at yourself in terms of self-love and acceptance. Okay? If you don't like the way you look, ask the question why. And I believe this for some reason, pile number one, it's the universe is asking you to look at yourself clearly and see what aspects become visible to you. Okay? Aspects you haven't seen before, because there are some of you that have aspects within you that are draining your energy. It's like you are putting yourself down. You are the one negating yourself, negating your ability. So you need to understand, why do you do that? What's the problem here? Why? Why do you put yourself down? If you don't understand why you do it, you will never be able to deal with the real problem. Okay? And if you put yourself down, there must be a problem, because why would you want to put yourself down? Okay? So we have to figure out the problem. The Choose Wisely card that's in reverse is basically showing me that you are stuck amongst different types of choices and positions. That's the word that wants to come to me. And you don't know where you want to take it. Well, perhaps the reason why you don't know where you want to take it is because you doubt. Okay? I feel, pile number one, it's like there's a path unfolding in front of you, and either you are doubting your path or you are doubting yourself on this path, one of the two, or both, I guess, could be. Okay? You have some inner conflict right now. You're experiencing an inner conflict with regards to which path do I take? Okay? Pile number one, looking at resolving your inner conflict, that's to do with your path. I'm being shown the number 4. We are in April right now as I'm recording this, but 4 to me is strengthening bonds, strengthening, I want to say the word collaborations, finding new ways of doing things, no longer repeating the same mistakes over and over again, whatever all this means to you, creating new platforms and foundations. Okay? So what I feel is that the universe is asking you to look at you with respect to your beliefs about the path that is unfolding in front of you, or the path you are wanting to take going forward, and you have your doubts. Okay? For some of you, you might be afraid that you're not going to be financially stable. What you need to do is you need to look first and foremost at the agreements you made with yourself about money. What is your agreement with yourself about money? What did you agree on with regards to money? Okay. I heard someone say to me, I'm never going to be poor again. I'm never going to be poor again. I'm never going to be poor again. And of course, no one wants to be poor. But if that feeling I'm never going to be poor again, I'm never going to be poor again, drives you, then the fear of being poor is still driving you. You need to neutralize that. If whoever you are, you need to neutralize the fear around being poor. And that's a real fear. I get that. But the fear is part of the inner conflict. Okay? You're so afraid of not going back there. You're there all the time in your mind. That's what you're focusing on. You don't want to, but you just can't help it. Okay? So that needs some unhooking, if you will. Obviously, if you need help with that, my team and I are experts in that. Okay, so that is for pile number 1. Pile number 2. Haha. We have courage and we have spiritual strength. Okay, or 9 of Wands, I believe. Remember, I read intuitively. So, needless to say, pile number 1. You're being asked to be brave. To be brave means to conquer your fears, but I am going to say it differently. To be brave, to be courageous means you face your fears, which is interesting because pile number 3 is dealing with fears, but let's stick with pile number 2. When you face your fears, pretty much nothing becomes impossible. Okay? I feel that pile number 2, you are in a process right now where you are being encouraged to have courage to face your fears. Of course, you don't have to do this alone. Yes, no, it's not easy. I understand. It's not necessarily supposed to be easy. Okay? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. The fact that almost nobody does it tells you it's not easy. It's not easy. Being a spiritual human is not easy at first. Okay? And remember, the very first message at the very beginning was about we are all in transition. You are likely to experience a lot of triumphs and tribulations as a result of facing your fears and having courage, going places you haven't gone before. And that is not only metaphorical, but it's going places you haven't gone before in terms of facing your fears, but also physically, like going beyond your own boundaries, going beyond the limitations you've set for yourself or you allowed others to set for you. Okay, this is a time of you powerfully breaking your own limitations. Okay, now notice I'm saying the words your own limitations. In other words, your limitations are yours. If you feel limited, those are your limitations. Somebody else may have put them on you. Now they're yours. If they're your limitations, then that means you're in charge of your limitations. You can deal with these limitations. You can make them be less of a limitation. You can realize, oh my God, it's not a limitation at all. I was under the illusion that I was limited. Because remember, you are a powerful kick-ass being, even within the limitness of human body. Okay? Just because you can't walk through walls doesn't mean you are not a powerful being. You can't walk through walls because you live in a consciousness where that is not believed to be true. Simple as that. That's not the consciousness. Okay? If you were in 5th dimension, you'd have no problems walking through walls. By the way, you have no walls because in 5D, walls are not necessary. Because walls divide. Higher dimensions, it's more about unity. That's where we're heading. So pile number 2, courage and lots of it. Facing your own fears. Also, you are being, even though it may feel like you are doing it by yourself, you are absolutely being supported and doors are being opened to you through spirit or through higher consciousness. Okay, you're not alone in this. And you are pile number 2 also very much on a healing journey. You're on a healing journey. Now, we're all on a healing journey, if I'm being honest, but you are on a powerful healing journey. Okay? Maybe your journey is one of being a healer, a practicing healer. Okay? I keep hearing July. Pile number 1 had the number 7, but I keep hearing July. So for some of you, maybe July is going to feel somehow, maybe in July, what I'm saying to you is going to make sense. Maybe the whole courage thing is going to make a lot of sense. Maybe the facing fears is going to make a lot more sense for you in or around the time of July. Okay? You might actually be a spiritual teacher or a spiritual leader. Okay? Perhaps. Okay, thank you. I'm being asked to say that that's the courage piece. You are to courageously step into being a powerful spiritual leader. Now that's a task and a half. Because to be a powerful spiritual leader, you have to lead from spirit, not from the human mind. And that's a whole different ballgame, whole different ballgame. Perhaps you are one of those individuals that is reaching certain levels of your own awareness, and most of the consciousness that you are surrounded by is not there yet. So you are kind of sort of feeling alone in this. That's interesting. Almost feels like a message for Joanna. Okay, I'll take it. So that's what it is for pile number 2. The other thing I wanted to say is certain doors are closing. What am I getting, please? Certain things are just no longer, I want to say the word meant for you. I don't like the word meant because it implies that something outside of us is making the choices. No. The universe knows what you need. It knows your contract. It knows your blueprint. So it helps remove things out of your path that are no longer needed, or that are holding you back, or that are draining your own energy. Okay, so certain people, certain situations will be removed from your path. And I see this as, how do I explain this, please? These things that are being removed, they're not things you're relying on anymore. They're more kind of in the background, but they're still taking place. So I don't want to overspeak it. That's how I want to leave it. Okay. Very, very, very powerful period for you, pile number 2. And I also want to say a strength is required to be you, but you are strong. You just don't know how strong you are. Remember, you're a powerful beast. And I don't mean beast in a negative way, a powerful, powerful being. So that's it for pile number 2. Now, pile number 3, very interesting, because what is coming up is fear around your fulfillment, around your wishes. Now, I'm noticing this thing with my throat. So I'm just going to ask if, I'm going to observe if this is part of the message here. Survival fears. Okay, some of you are dealing with survival fears. What are survival fears? Basically the basics. The basics, the things we need to survive, food, shelter, things like that. I feel for some of you, these are going to be coming up to the surface. Okay. And I don't feel because you will go without. That is not what I feel. What I feel is that something is triggering those old survival fears. Something is triggering it. So I want to say emphatically that I am not saying, or what's coming through is not that your own security, safety and security will be undermined, is that something is going to trigger that insecurity inside of you. Maybe something you hear in the news, maybe something you hear in a store. Hey, maybe you are listening to some lower frequency tactics designed to create fear, and that's going to uproot your own survival fear. Okay? So it would be very important for you to look at that, because those fears, as real as they are, they're nothing more than ancient memories. Okay? Memories of something that has happened, but not necessarily that something will happen. But by holding on to these fears, it's like we live in the past. We're constantly living in those fears. So there's a suggestion being made to look at your own survival fears, your first and second chakra in particular. Actually, let's say first three, because first three are all about survival. Okay? Once we get to the heart chakra, we now start connecting to the higher aspect, which is the spirit. Okay? Also, this beautiful dragon, because I love dragons, notice he or she is free. She's completely free out in the wild, connected by green. What this is saying to me is that you are or will shortly be in a process of healing your survival fears. Okay? So that you can feel more content, so that you can be more at peace with yourself, so that you can be more thriving, or in a thriving mode more than just surviving mode. Right? That's a big one. That's a big one. Okay. You also have some fears of not being able to fulfill your wishes. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want to say is, when we say you can be anything you want, well, you are having a physical experience as a human being. If you say to yourself, I want to be a giraffe, that's not going to happen. Okay, that's not how things work in 3D. They work that way in other domains, but not in 3D, not in this density. Okay. So, you know, if you want a star, someone to give you a star, chances are it's not going to happen. Okay. I just heard stars are not to be owned anyway. Interesting. Okay. Pile number 3. Do you feel like someone owns you? Do you feel being owned by something or someone? Do you feel there's a certain level of attachment you have to something or someone, and you are fearful you can't be without? Because that frame of thinking is an entrapment. You're trapped in your own, I want to say, in your own mental game. We're all in our own mental games, by the way. Okay. Having said that, when you focus on the frequency that you desire, not necessarily in the package that it's supposed to arrive in, when you focus on a frequency that you desire, I guarantee you that the universe will always provide. So the universe may not deliver it in a package of you being a giraffe. It may be delivered in a different package, but the goal will be accomplished. Vibration that you want is what you will experience, the feeling of it. Okay. So I'd like you, pile number 3, to consider thinking of your goals in terms of how it will feel when you reach that goal versus the goal itself. Okay? And recognize if you have any fears around that. Again, I'm going to use the example of money. If you're trying to reach a certain financial freedom, which, by the way, would be considered survival, right? Because we need money to survive. If you're trying to grow your financial freedom, but your own understanding of yourself with regards to money is one of low frequency, for example, money is bad, then you will have a very hard time bringing to you that frequency of more money, because more money, the abundance it's a different frequency. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want more money, then introduce the feeling of having that money already into your body, into your beingness. Become the person who is already immersed in the feeling of you having financial abundance. Create that feeling within you. It's a basic classic law of attraction. Okay. However, when you focus on that feeling, this is when you're in its vibration. That's when you can think about money, whatever it is that you want to experience. Think about these things while you're in that vibration, while you're in the richness of that higher frequency, because you're a magnet to it at that moment. If you are in fear and you're trying to create more money, you are trying to create more money from a fear frequency. It's generally not going to work. Not going to work very well. Okay. So we already know the basis of law of attraction. You have to believe what you are trying to accomplish, but more than believe, because we tell ourselves all the time, I believe, I believe, I believe, and we actually don't believe what we want to believe it or not. What we want is, we want to attach the rich vibration of the feeling that whatever it is that we're trying to create, that is its vibration. Am I making sense what I'm saying? In other words, to experience more money, allow yourself to be in the vibration of already having money. However, if having money feels bad to you because you have a negative connection to it, then you have to resolve the fear or the inner conflict you have around whatever it is that you're trying to... if you have a conflict around money or negative vibration, then you attracting more money will not be an easy process. We know all this, okay? So number 3, pile number 3, you are to look at your own limitations or fears around the things that you are desiring, okay? Fears around not being able to experience what you desire. Oh, I'll never do this. I'll never meet Mr. or Miss Right. I'll never make more money. I'll never feel good. There's one thing I've learned while being a human being, is that never say never. So that's all I have for you, pile number 3. I hope this was very helpful. I would love for you to give me some comments. Let me know how this transmission went for you, how you are experiencing the energy of the eclipse. And I believe there's another one coming up in 2 weeks or somewhere there. I'm not an astrologer. And of course, if you would like help with your own transformation and transition, that information is down below. If you would like free content from me that is not on any of my social media, there's a link down below for free tools, free transformational tools. Sign yourself up and you'll be automatically sign up to receive more videos and more content that is not available anywhere else. Other than that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of my journey so I can do this for you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.